What's good YouTube, Ben here, welcome to the next video on the channel. In this one, I'm going to give you my Steel Path viable build for Vault. Let's get into this. Hey guys, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe please, because they really do help me to get found. Don't forget to turn on notifications to be notified of all uploads and live streams, and don't forget to join me on my socials. Those are all linked down below. Okay, let's get in. So Vault is definitely a decent Warframe and very viable for the Steel Path actually, although he is very squishy, but I'm going to go over my build for him. I want to point out quickly as well that this build, I use it for Eidolon hunting as well, when I'm with friends. We have different roles, my Vault is my role. But let's jump into the build. So, we're running Growing Power as his aura mod. So, apply status effects with weapons, increase ability strength by 25% for 6 seconds, which is pretty decent for him actually. We're running Prime Flow for 275% energy max, Streamline for 30% ability efficiency, Augur Message for 24% ability duration, and 40% energy spent on abilities is converted to the shields. Shock Trooper, which is his augment mod, hold to cast will grant all additional allies within 15 meters an additional 100% electricity damage for their attacks for 40 seconds. Prime Continuity for 55% ability duration. Hunter Adrenaline convert 45% of damage on health to energy. Adaptation, when damaged, plus 10% resistance to that damage type for 20 seconds stacks up to 90%. And Prime Vigor for 220% shield capacity and 220% health. I'm also rocking Handspring in the Exilus mod slot, which is 160% faster knockdown recovery. Although you could replace this with Prime Sure-Footed if you have it, I currently don't. I'm also running Arcane Nullifier for a chance to resist magnetic effects. Again, due to running this as an Eidolon build, I run that because obviously they give off magnetic. And Arcane Energize to help replenish energy. Now, Shock Trooper is a really big part of this because that bonus damage is going to help you out a ton on the Steel Path. But we've got 179% duration, 130% efficiency, 100% range, and 100% strength. Power strength really isn't a big thing for us specifically, because it's not what this build is about. So going over the abilities very quickly, when I can get to them, there we go. So Shock, of course, will deal a little bit of damage and do a temporary stun lock, but what we really want is that extra damage. So we'll get 100% extra electricity damage for 71.6 seconds. Of course, then his speed, you know, he goes fast boy. Also allows you to reload faster. Electric Shield is another big part of this build. Vault deploys an Electric Shield that blocks projectiles. So the projectile for this is actually kind of cool because you can protect him a lot more. And of course Gloom for health regeneration. But let's get into the mission. I'll show you what we can do. Alright, I'm giving myself a little bit of energy to start off with. But I'm going to quickly go over why I'm here. I'm here at Oxmoco in the Void. The Void is one of the later areas of the Steel Path, so it gives you a good example of what your Warframe / weapons can do. I'm also here because in the Void you deal with the Corrupted, and with the Corrupted, they have pretty much every kind of enemy type. Enemy types with just health and shields, and health and high armor, meaning you get a varied example of what you're going to be able to do. Now, let's hop in. So the first thing we're going to do is cast a shield, and then we're going to use the X button or square button on PlayStation to grab said shield to give us some frontal protection. Then we're going to go ahead and activate Shock Augment to give us bonus electric damage, and then we're going to start firing. Now the cool thing with the shield is you can run around with this thing and have it protect you from the front. Of course, if you drop the shield and place it, it will give you more protection if you want to be stationary for a little bit. So I could just drop it here, give myself some frontal protection, and then go ahead and keep firing through it, because when you fire through the shield, you also get a lot more bonus damage as well. Now, of course, Vault, for those who have obviously played Vault, if you're watching this, you're looking for a build. Vault is a very squishy Warframe, definitely. He is very easy. You can easily die with him on the Steel Path. So the goal here is to keep Vault alive as much as possible with his little shield doohickey, along with giving yourself a bunch of damage buffs with Vault's little projectile. As you can see in the top right, we have 125% electricity damage on our weapons as well for the next 70 seconds, so over a minute you get it for, which is nice, because it means you don't have to continuously cast. But Gloom is also here as well, 1 to slow down enemies very slightly, but 2 for some health regeneration, purely because, you know, he is squishy. You want to try and keep his health up as much as possible. Volt also has another augment mod for his shield, which I found isn't as good as his shock augment, because his shock augment allows you to get bonus damage, whereas the shield, all it does is it allows you to regenerate partial shields when you walk through it. Now, if you could regenerate every time you walk through the same shield, it would be decent, but you'd have to keep replacing shields, and that just costs way too much energy for it to be worth it. Whereas if you're in a party, if your partners are standing near you when you cast the shock augment, not only will you get the bonus damage, but they will also get it too. And because shock can also cause a stun lock, it's really handy to have. But with this build, Volt can live pretty darned well on the steel path, because you can regenerate his health, and then of course as long as you're facing enemies, the shield will protect you. And of course, to help get out of harm's way, you can also activate your speed augment, which will allow you, of course, to go faster. So overall, he actually lives pretty darn well, but just like with my normal Steel Path Viable build videos, I will remain in the mission long enough to fight the Acolyte, just to, again, show you what kind of his augment stuff can do. Bearing in mind, though, your mileage may vary depending on what weapons you're using and how strong they are against enemies here on the Steel Path. So my Tenet Archiplasma build, if you are interested, is on my channel. So feel free to use that. It's in the playlist. There are two actually. Go for the updated one, because the updated one is the one I'm currently using. This weapon is absolutely fantastic for the Steel Path. It mows down most things. But if the video takes too long, like if the Acolyte takes too long to spawn, I will make a cut. But for now, you can just enjoy gameplay and watch me basically dominate enemies on the Steel Path. Because Volt is more than usable, and like I said, this is also a build I use for Eidolon hunting. So if you're a Volt player during Eidolon hunts, I'd highly recommend using this build as well, because I don't really have a problem fighting any of the Eidolons with this build. Like, as you can see, you know, it's pretty darn decent when it comes to damage. Plus, the protection effect on this guy is also awesome, because as long as you're facing enemies, they basically can't touch you as much. Now, it wouldn't be as good if, when carrying the shield, it didn't protect you at all. But since it does, it's more than useful to have, because you also get bonus damage when you fire through the shield. So that also helps your damage output as well. So between the shock augment and the shield not only protecting you, but also dealing a ton of damage, it's honestly not a problem, like living on the Steel Path, as long as you're using, you know, a half-decent build. But again, like I said, your mileage may vary based upon your weapons, because depending on what weapons you're using, you could obviously get more damage or less, or, you know, again, mileage will vary, so you might not have the easiest time as I am, depending, of course, weapons, because... But to be fair, until, like, because my original plan today was to make a video on how to farm Kalervo, the new Warframe from Deviri, but, things keep popping up, and I keep missing the timing for being able to go to Deviri at the right time. So, what I'll do is I'll do a Steel Path Viable build for Kalervo once I can get my hands on him. It's just going to be a case of when I get my hands on him. So there will be a Steel Path Viable build for Kalervo as soon as I can farm him. Like, time permitting, of course. But I do have some more Steel Path Viable builds in mind as well. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because you'll then turn on notifications to be notified of when my videos go live. There we go. Alright, he's coming out. So get shield up, grab it, perfect. Activate shock augment to give us bonus damage for a little while. I'm going to make some clearance. Where is he? There he is. Boom, there we go. Acolyte gone. So the augmented damage you get for this guy is actually ridiculously good. So, but yeah, that's my Steel Path Viable build for Volt. So if you want to see more like this, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, please. You guys have been really smashing it recently. We made partner recently, which is fantastic. I really do appreciate it, guys. Don't forget to turn on the notifications to be notified of all uploads and live streams, because I do upload daily, and I live stream most days of the week. And don't forget to join me on my socials. Those are all linked down below. Links to stuff like Twitch, Twitter, Discord. Sometimes I stream on YouTube, sometimes I stream on Twitch. Don't forget to follow on both platforms, so you can just watch me do stuff live, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.